Alright, today we're messing around with the fuel pump on the KTM 390 Adventure, mainly because my pump seized. So that shouldn't be black and full of shit. That's your main fuel filter there, and you've got your external fuel filter there as well. My bike's only done 9,000k, so I'm suspecting there was shit in it from the manufacturer. I may have filled up with bad fuel from a servo, because I usually go to the same servo every time anyway, with all the other vehicles as well. So, or because it started happening at the last service, this hard starting where it would take about half an hour to start the bike. Something happened when they were doing the service, apart from them leaving some plastics off as well. Riding down at 100k an hour, I know some plastic flying off because they've got to bolt the fucker back on. Yep, I was real happy about that. But anyway, clogged up and the pump is seized. I put 12 volt directly to the pump. She is seized. So I ended up getting another pump. KTM want $550 for that whole assembly because they don't sell that on its own. Oh, we're talking about the pump now. It's a Bosch pump in there. So I did do the numbers, try and have a look to see if I could find a Bosch one, because that would have been better, but I couldn't find anything with the numbers. Could have just been me, but I gave up because it was pretty shitty that my fuel pump's fucked. So I found an aftermarket job that we're about to find out as I go, to see if it's the right one. Pictures all lined up, so on and so forth. Waiting for the focus. It's a, what is it, a fucking Quantum. I'm not sure. There we go. HP 396 is the pump that I ended up finding. Now it does have an extra ground wire on it, but we're just going to lop that off because we don't need it. The wires are quite long on here too, so what I'll end up doing is unsoldering these jobs here and soldering these ones on, mainly because they're cut to length, they're crimped already. My life will be easier. So, but I won't show you about the soldering and all that sort of shit because I didn't think that through. Didn't bring any of my soldering kit inside because we're working inside because it's fucking hot outside. Alright, so disassemble is pretty easy. You've got to take all these off there basically. God knows why they've got two separate plugs here, but fucks me, it's KTM, or it's Indian KTM. So once you've got those loose, you'll have to take out your fuel level sender, which is these two clips here. They clip down. This is hard to do, and there we go. That slides straight out. That'll be two of your wires there. So thin black, thin red, that's your fuel level sender. Now that we've got that off, now we've got to get the pump out. So you've got tab, tab, tab. And essentially, you've got to lift those and slowly just pull it out and hope that they don't clip back into place like that as you're pulling out. Now, take your time pulling out because there's going to be an O-ring in here, which means she's going to be a bit firm. So take your time with it. There you go. See, that's the O-ring. And as you can see, your wires pop up through there as well. So careful does it. Right, that's out. That can go to the side. Now, won't be able to fully pull it out because your fuel filter is going to be clipped on there. So as best you can, I know this is difficult for you to watch because it's difficult for me to actually fucking do at the moment. Got to pop your fuel filter off. Now, it's probably a fucking much nicer way of doing this, but it's just friction fit, and because everything's fucked, it doesn't matter if I break anything. So that's your fuel filter. So it just clips on there. See these little dots? As soon as I pull this fucker out, it just lines its index on that right there like that. So that's your fuel pump. Now pay attention because you have some extra bits still attached to it. Let me just turn these wires out. You've got an O-ring, a plastic case, and that slides over that just like that. So we'll keep them aside because we're going to need that. This is your Bosch one. Now, impossible to see maybe on this camera because it's hard to see with my eyes. But as you can see, as I'm slowly rotating it, you can see that we've got some part numbers written on there. I tried searching them. I couldn't find anything, but I didn't try that hard either because, as I said, I was pretty pissed off about my fuel pump. Alright, as you can see with these two here, they're damn near identical, so I can't see an issue with that not working. Sorry. I only just received the fuel pump, so I'm literally looking as we go. Now the only thing I can see different here is that hole there. So I'm just going to kill it for the moment because that looks like it goes straight through. I don't know yet, but I'm just going to have a closer inspection. Alright, cross is averted. So, oh hang on, where's the other pump? It's still on the table because I just swapped the wires over, so... Now I was talking about this hole here doesn't go straight through, but on this one it really looks like, but there's only a thread in that and I don't think it goes anywhere, so yeah, okay. Hopefully it doesn't. We're about to find out because we're going to reassemble all this shit, so fairly straightforward assembly. It's doing everything in reverse. It did come with a whole heap of other bits and pieces that are utterly useless for this because it is pretty much a universal filter. So got a much larger fuel pad on here which will clip on like that. Now the only thing that I'm thinking is it's a little bit of a height difference, so we're about to find out together because you know that's what this is about. So that's going in there like such. That's going up in there. Okay. This one's only got one place for location, so I know you can't see much because I'm trying to do this on camera and I'm trying to work around this fucking camera. It's not like I've done this 10,000 times already. It's a case of we're experiencing this together. Alright, that feels like she's on there. Good stuff. Now, as you can see, I changed the cabling, the two wires, the positive and the negative on this, because they're shorter, they're already crimped. Which means, yeah. Alright, so old filter, a little bit of a different size. It probably is a better quality filter as well looking at this, but time will soon sorry, I'm just looking at all the white shit on here. It's all over here. That's what's coming out of the filter. So now we've got to get this part back on, which is a matter of feeding through my wires through the bottom again, just like that. Now before I go and finish that, I need to put the other way wires, this piece back on there, so that little white job, and that O-ring. Now, push it all together, just like a bad relationship, just force it carefully, because those O-rings are probably going to try and pinch. Sorry, I'm trying to find out why she's not going on. So, as I said, it's not enjoying working around this camera. It's that O-ring there. I'm going to switch this off, lube it up. I've got some Vaso somewhere. I'll lube it up and I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to snap this shit. And for the sake of, you already know how it goes back together, you don't need to watch me push it back together. Yeah, she was a tight fit, but as I said, Vaseline. It's petroleum based, awesome for lubing O-rings and everything, especially in fuel systems, because it'll just break down and disappear. All right, that back on. Hopefully I didn't break anything, because yeah, she was a fucking tight fit. Next up, you're going to want to put your fuel level sender back in. Just get those wires in the right direction so we don't get any hang up. Alright, that's clipped in on that side. Alright, now we've got our wiring. So we've got two blacks, which are these two here, and then we've got a red and a blue. So your thicker ones, thick black, blue, fuel pump, red, black, fuel level sender, and then you've got your 4 tabs here. First one is going to be thick black, which is fuel pump negative. Second one's going to be fuel sender negative, which is thin black. And that's on. Next one's going to be fuel sender positive, sender, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the fuel sender one, red wire is going on there. There we go. And then you're going to want fuel pump positive, which is going to be that one there. And that's it, fully assembled. As you can see, it can fit in the tank multiple different ways, but you can't see because I'm not watching what I'm doing on camera. I've marked which way it all goes back on because chances are it's going to go on a certain way. Now, leave that sitting there. Your external fuel filter. Oh, I've got to tell you, it's that fuel pump kit with half the shit I don't need. $60 to my door from Amazon. First time using Amazon. Fucking not a fan, because you've either got free postage, which will take a month, or you've got $10 for expedited shipping, which takes 7 days. Now, they sent it via standard post, Australia Post, which I thought would have been the free post one, and $10 for express post. So I don't understand how you get free post in a month and it takes standard post timing. Hopefully someone can explain that shit to me. Australia, Amazon, not fucking US Amazon or other country Amazon. Yeah, a bit of a weird one. I ordered this part straight from KTM supplier. $22 to my door. Fucking expensive little filter, but there it is. If you can read sideways, part number for it. I figure since that one's fucked, chances are that one's gonna have a bad time too. So once again, not on camera, I'm just going to swap this straight out because I know these hose clamps here are a pain in the ass to get over that little barb dent and then getting the hose off. So I'll do that, get that assembled. I will then make my way out of the shed and show you the already pulled apart bike so you can see it going back in together, and hopefully without zero fucking issue it's going to start. So get that swapped out, and it'll take like 2 seconds for you guys, but fucking it's going to take me a little while. Alright, okay, made it out of the shed. We got all that done, that's assembled. Swap the fuel filter over. Got to work out which way the lines are on this right, it's just which way it goes in there, because down in here mine's going to be a bit different to yours, because I'm running the hidden right there is a Rapid Bike Evo. So I've got fucking additional plugs left, right and centre in here that I was supposed to clean up before I reassembled all this, but yeah, oh well. That goes to the fuel pump, which, as I said inside probably a couple of seconds ago for you guys, there's a plug there that plugs in the fuel pump, which is that plug there. Oop, that plug there. But there's a plug there, so why they got this little fucking pigtail, beyond me, I don't know. But yeah, oh well, as you can see, filters out because I was trying to diagnose why the bike wasn't starting. Well, it did die on the side of the bloody road, but yeah, so I'll show you how to get to this point by me reassembling it, but yeah, there's a bit of stuff everywhere. You got one of the plastics. That's the plastic that fell off at 100k an hour because the bike shop forgot to fucking bolt it on, because I dare say they were checking the coolant. Second service on the bike, so This part here is meant to be attached to the fuel tank. The rest of the parts are hiding over there. I've got the seats over there. Bit of a fucking mess in here. I've got the fuel tank sitting on my rubbish bin, upside down. So, see, got a rag over it. No more shit in there. Even the fucking GS is in bits because carby slide broke and that. So I'm having awesome time. Alright, so this is the bottom of your fuel tank. That sits there like that. As I said, I marked which way it all bolts up. So, well, at least we know that seal's good because I've still got fuel in there and it's been, what, a week or so. So, I know. Oh, I wonder if I can turn my light on so you can see in there. Oh. So, I'm about to finish cleaning this tank out because there is some more shit in there. That is quite a lot of shit. The reason why I've left it sitting up here so it can settle. Oh, light turned off again. Alright, so I'll clean out all that. I dare say that's what killed my pump and all that, but your device needs to cool down before it can use flash. It's, you know, I suppose it is like fucking 35 degrees and 70% humidity today, but bearing through it. So that's an upside down fuel tank. That part that I said that bolts on the fuel tank bolts on there. So we will get the fuel pump in there. As soon as I find where the fuck, I think those were the bolts in there for it. I've got to figure out which bolts are where. It's, yeah, I've got to learn to organise shit. So we'll get the fuel pump in there and then I'll show you where to go from there, eh? Okay, so there's a bit of an issue with this pump's fuel filter. It's just a little bit of a shit to fit. So I thought I'd show you before I start forcing it in there. I finished cleaning out the tank, so she's cleaner in there. Now I've got to get some fuel to fucking fill her back up. But yeah, this is probably where I'm going to struggle now. So I thought I'd show you the struggles involved with this kit. KTM didn't sell that fuel filter on its own, so maybe you can find another one elsewhere, but I'll have a go jamming this fucker in here. Straight up a bad bloody time. If you can find the correct fuel filter, the in-tank fuel filter, use it, because your life will be so much easier. That was about 20 minutes of wrestling, yes, yelling and screaming. Yeah, it was not fun at all, but it's in there, filters on there, lines on there, tanks plugged in. Let's see what happens. Helps if I put the right key in there. Oh, we got fuel pump prime. Fuck yeah. See, only 9,500 Ks on the bloody clock. That's what happened. I reckon it's a combination of bad fuel and factory stuff. That's my thought, because there's no way one tank of bad fuel is going to do that. I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, but maybe it was multiple fuel. I fuel up at the same servo every time. This bike, that bike, the car out the front. Yeah. Oh. ECU failure. What haven't I plugged in? Uh-oh. Everything should be plugged in though. Oh no. It's a bit loud because I don't have the air filter in there, but it looks like well, it seems to actually want to run, so that's a good start. Now we just got to get it all back together, so I'll walk you through the process of doing that. It's probably having a fit because my vent lines aren't hooked up either, so I don't know. Well, I'll disconnect the battery, walk you through, reassemble it, and then I'll go for a ride. And it turns out that the tank did leak. A bit of discoloration there, so not recommended to leave up on its end like that for an extended period of time, that's for sure. So, but there you go. It would have been leaking past that seal too, so that's a bit of a bother. But let's get this bike back together and see if it still runs. In reverse, because I'm assembly, not disassembling, so you might have to watch this video through if you've never done it before, but we're at the point where, as I said, I've got to put the fuel line on, which is that one above the white connector there. I can't point to it because I'm holding the tank steady, but that's got to go in the white connector, which goes to your fuel pump. Then you've got two vent lines here, so you can't screw it up because they're actually two different sizes. So that's got to slide down. As soon as I undo that, it's only sort of going to slot on one way, and once we get that on, I'll show you the other bits and pieces. It's going to be a lot of video chopping here because spilt fuel there too. Yeah, because I'm trying to assemble it, and there's really no other way I can do it because I'm by myself, and if you need to see shit up close, there's no point in a tripod. So, alright, these vent lines go on there, like so. They just use one of those metal hose clamps, which I'm missing one, so I'll have to find that. It'll be on the floor somewhere. The tank just sort of slides down in there. You got to make sure that you're not crimping any of your lines underneath there, just like I'm doing now, because that'll be one of the fuel lines there and a sender. So there's a bit of wriggling. You've got one bolt either side here. You've got your main bolt up the top there that goes through the center. Then you've got this jobby. I don't know what the hell it is, but it needs it to run because it throws up errors when it's unplugged. I've done that before, and that just bolts onto that area there. So I will get this on and we'll go from there. Alrighty, that'll be your 12mm bolt, which goes straight down the guts in there. Then you've got two long Allen keys. They're going to go on the side just through here, and that'll be your tank bolted in. Then I'll go around this side here, bolt this back on, which is running two 10mm underneath there as well, and that'll be the tank side of things done. Alright, I'll knock that out of the way and we'll move on to the next bit. So it's your side fairings that are going to go on next. As you can see, you've got hole here, and then you've got some push-in sections and slide on. Don't worry about those front ones up there, because that's what holds those pieces on, those little ones there. So it's just a matter of slotting that on to that piece there, push on there, and then your two bolt holes. Well, that's, as soon as I set that up there, you're going to have an Allen key that sits up there, and you've got the other piece, but I'll show you the bolts that are used on this once I got it all fitted. These are the bolts that are used. So this jobby right there is what's going to sit up in that hole there. I can't screw it in, too busy doing this. These ones here have a plastic washer, and they'll go up in there. That'll hold that panel on. I'll get both those on, and we'll do the other side, and then I'll show you the other piece. I just got these little pieces, and you should have 4 of those front 2 sitting there. The reason why mine are different is because the fucking dickhead bike shop, as I said, lost mine. So essentially, just gonna go up and headlights in the way. It's gonna sit up in there just like that. So it's gonna clamp around there. It's gonna sit up above your radiator guard, and then you're gonna put your bolts through there. You do that on both sides. That's it. Left is to put the seat back on. Well, I've got to put the battery connected up because I said I was disconnecting it while I did everything. I did forget to mention about pushing this piece back on. It is just a push fit dress piece that sits up and around it. That's really about it for that one. But yeah, if you don't know how to take your seat off, I don't even know why I need to walk through this, but chuck your key in there, rear section comes off, front section comes off, easy done. So now the moment of truth, sort of ish, once I get the battery back on, does it start? And does it ride? That'll be the next thing. Seat's back on. idling alright. I'm going to let it do its 15 minutes idle, just so it can relearn its fuel values again, because I am running, as I said, the Rapid Bike Evo in there, because I was running exhaust. The standard one's back on because the bike's up for sale. So we'll let it do its relearn, and then I'll take her around the block and we should be good. Success! She's running. It's going well. Just took it around the block after letting it do its 15-minute cold fuel ratio, synchronization, whatever they want to call it. Fuel relearn, that's probably the better term for it. I dare say that fuel filter's been an issue from day one since I bought the bike. Mainly because now, even with the stock exhaust on, we're still running the KTM filter and a slight airbox mod, or air intake tube mod, I should say. It wants to pick that front wheel up a lot more now, a lot easier. So I dare say it's been like that from day one. Had a bit of an issue, so may make me want to keep the bike now, because the whole reason why I was selling it's because I was unhappy with it. It was very inconsistent. So yeah, it's after the fuel pump. It's just a generic one. It's not a high flying one or anything like that. Well, I didn't look at the flow specs on them, to be honest, but I'd say they'll be fairly similar. You'd have a fuel pressure regulator there anyway. Even if it was a higher flowing pump, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, runs beautifully. So if you're having starting issues and it's not your throttle body, it's probably your fuel pump. And if you're having very intermittent, power issues where, it's like you're hitting a head of wind every so often, probably your fuel pump. So there you go. That's how I went about it. If you can, find the Bosch ones. I'll put the part numbers in the description. Who knows? It was probably dickhead here that got it wrong. But for 60 bucks, she's running again. It's got new fuel filters. Everybody's happy. Then I've got to put that fucker back together. So there you go. Any questions, ask. I'll try and answer them. I'm not a KTM wizard, especially not on this bike, but I'm getting bits and pieces done. But as I said, I'll be selling the bike because I'm looking at the new Honda 750 Transalp. Or a Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, so one of those new ones. Didn't consider the Tenere 700. I don't think I like it. Maybe, but we'll see how these other ones fare out against it. But that's not the point of this video. The point of the video is fuel pump on the KTM 390 Adventure, done, dusted, running better. Happy fucking days.